Good afternoon, everyone. This is Heidi Mancini from the Butterfly Effect, and I'm here with my daughter Ava today. She has some questions to ask me, so we haven't rehearsed this, so I don't know what I'm in for, but I will try and answer her questions as honestly as I can, and hopefully it's a good interview. I'm sure it will be. I wanted to let everybody know if you have any questions or any informational stuff that you want to do, you can contact me at my email, Camillio, Camillio, the number 1, at iCloud.com. And I'm also on Facebook under the Butterfly Effect, Heidi Mancini, and Heidi Mancini Wellness and Health page. So let's get this started.
Okay.
See what I'm in for.
All right, so I have some 50 questions, and it's from thoughtcatalog.com. And it says, the best questions to ask your mom to figure out who she is and who you are.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, there's...
I'm going to figure out who I am today.
I haven't really looked at all the questions, but I looked at a few, and I was like, I think this would be, really good. So, the first question is, when I was little, what did you think I was going to be when I grew up? Not necessarily job or something, just in general, as a person, I guess.
Honestly, what all I ever wanted was for you to be happy. No matter whatever that was you were doing. I never really had where I had these specific, I want Ava to grow up to be this, Ava to grow up to be that. Because as you started to grow up, you see different things in your kids, and I knew you were pretty smart. I knew that. But as far as what I wanted you to be when you grew up, I didn't have any specific goals. I just wanted you to be happy in whatever you were doing.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then the second question is, do you think I have more of your good qualities or bad qualities?
Well, I would like to think that you have more of my good qualities, but I'd also like to think that you have a lot of your own that you've developed through all the stuff that you've been through, in your teenage years and your younger years, and even now in your 20s. But of course, I'd like to say you have all my good stuff, but I know that one quality that you have of mine that isn't probably the most favorable is probably a little bit of your temper and your anger. But those are things I still manage. Into my 50s, I still have to manage my emotions.
Okay, cool. All right, and the third question is, what is the funniest thing I ever said or did as a kid?
Well, I don't know if this would be considered funny, but I think one of the funniest things, you had a lot of goofy things that you did, but one of the things that resonated with me was when you were cleaning up the dog yard and you were lopping the chunks of poop over the neighbor's wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I thought that was funny, even though the neighbor lady did not find, the funny side of that. But knowing you, I was like, I could picture in my brain you being bored, just standing out in the backyard, just lopping chunks of dog poop over the wall, hitting the lady's back window and patio, and you thinking to yourself, I didn't know if you thought you were having fun doing it, but I thought it was kind of funny myself that you would, do that. And then I think one of my funnest times with your funnest memories was when, and you were a baby, so you wouldn't remember this, I don't think. You were in this bouncy chair that Papa and Noni bought you, and you were maybe, I want to say a year. I'm not sure. I don't even think you were walking yet, but we used to hang it over the doorway in the bathroom of their house, and you used to bounce like crazy, and then you would turn your back on everybody and just stare at the toilet. So we were all like, what is she doing? Why does she keep... So for me, that was a funny thing for me when you were in your bouncy thing. I used to crack up the way you used to bounce around and just stare and amuse yourself.
That's funny. I don't remember doing that, but I remember you telling me a lot that I did that, and I was like, I can see myself doing that because I'm so bored. I get easily bored, so I'm just fascinated by the tiniest thing.
So go back a little bit. I mean, if you were to look at the qualities that you've gotten from me, the good and the bad, what would you say they were? Are we kind of on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got a mixture of both you and Dad's qualities, good and bad. I feel like with Dad, as I got older, I feel like I've gotten a lot of his aloofness, and I know that's not always a good quality, but because like I know when I was younger, I would get angry and I would just blow up, and that was like more probably your side. But now as I got older, I think my anger is more like Dad, which neither one is really good. But I become more aloof. Like if I get into a fight with somebody, I just like act like I don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's just I don't want to care. So I just act like I don't care, and then it makes the other person upset. So either quality is not that great, but good qualities, I feel like with Dad, like I don't know. I would have to really think about that. But with you, like I'm like really hardworking, and like I feel like a good quality is like I'm very well-rounded, and I like a lot of things, like a lot of different things, like you. So I feel like I'm gonna probably have multiple careers or jobs that I like doing, because I can't stick to just one thing. So
one of the things that I was thinking about just today was that as I'm getting older, I just want to appreciate everything. And sometimes, and through my life, I've tried different things. I'm artsy. I love to do crafty things, arty things. I like to be outside with nature, but yet I can hang inside with, whatever else is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I can see, like I said, I can see both, like, that I got from you and Dad, but, I mean, everybody has good and bad qualities, so
yeah. I think a lot of them we nurture our own qualities that we pick up from both sides, and then our genetics. Genetics are huge too. And one of the funniest things I ever heard was when somebody said, "You look like your mom," and you said, "No, I look like me." And I was like, "Well, that was a cool answer, because it is true. You are you, and we do compare ourselves to our kids, or our kids to us, and you are your own individual person with a, I would say, combination of both."
Yeah, which is actually kind of funny, because now, as I'm getting older, now I'm trying to find resemblances between you and Dad. And, like, when I was younger, I was like, no, I want to be myself. But now I'm like, no, like, seriously, what physical qualities do I have? That's why, like, I ask you all the time, like, can I see pictures of you when you were my age? I ask Dad, because I'm just like, I want to know where I come from. So, I mean, maybe that's just, like, a nostalgic thing. As you get older, you kind of just build that curiosity, but when you're younger, you just, like, no, I want to be me. Like, just me. Like, I don't care, but, like, I don't know.
Well, the physicality part of if you want to know genetically, physicality-wise, you are a combination of both, for sure, because you have your dad's side of the family's lower portion of your body, which could be even my side, because Italian, we're all kind of big butt and we have thighs, but we're also very tiny on top, where you tend to be, you've got I think you have more of the Bodhi build than you do, my build. Yeah. But you have my fingers. I always had dainty fingers. My smile. I think you have the almond eyes for my side, but you definitely have your dad's mouth. I mean, lips. Your dad always had full lips and that. But I think you have your facial features are a combination of probably both.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I got my nose, though, because my nose is, like, upwards, and I'm like, who the hell did I get that from? Because Dad doesn't have that. He's just a big-ass honker, and then your nose doesn't go upwards, so maybe I just got that from somebody else, because, I mean, I know that's possible. Because I know, like, there's some things of Nana that I look like, kind of, too, like, and so I feel like that's possible, but, yeah, so, and then the next question is, when was the first time you heard me curse?
The first?
Yeah.
You were in the back seat of the car and you were like 2 and you said, "Oh shit."
Oh my god, that's funny.
And then I was like, okay, time for me to stop saying "oh shit," because that was one of my favorite sayings. So I always like when other parents say, "Oh, I don't know where they got that from." And any of us that have been parents or raised little kids, we know exactly where it came from.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember the first time Nona got mad at me. This was like the first time I remember, because I was older. I always said Jesus Christ because I got pissed off at my friend that I had because he was late for the bus. Oh man, Nona told me she got so mad at that. That was funny.
And bastard, that was another one.
That was from Nana.
That was from Nana.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I had to say to her, was she had to be careful, around you, because when we came home from a Vegas visit or something. You did inherit that word. Oh, bastard! You
So
bastard.
I was definitely that kid that would
Yeah.
repeat everything.
You mimicked everything. Yep.
Oh, that sucks. I'd be like, damn it. Okay, and then who was the first person you told you were pregnant with me?
The first person I told was your dad.
Yeah. After that, who was
Your
like
papa.
what was their reactions?
The reactions?
Yeah, like when you told them.
Well, obviously my dad was excited because I was the oldest daughter and I didn't have kids yet, and
Yeah.
and I was pregnant. So yeah, he was totally excited. And I think your dad, I don't want to say he wasn't excited, but I think he was probably more in shock.
Yeah.
Not, he just was very, zen about it.
What would you have named me if I was the opposite gender? I know Dad said he wanted to name me Brandon or Brendan or whatever stupid name that was. I hate that name, but I know he wanted to name me that because I asked him. But if I was a boy and you chose the name, what would you have wanted to name me?
If I chose a boy name?
Yeah, like if you.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even consider a boy's name because in my head, whatever, I was having a girl.
Yeah.
So I never, to be honest with you, I didn't want to name you after your dad. That was something we did talk about. He didn't want a John Jr. And so that was clear because in our family, the boy was named, after the father, like, Uncle Bob was named after my dad. So I honestly just kind of went with whatever he was saying was fine. But in my head, I was like, I'm having a girl, so I didn't even go there.
Yeah. So did you not know you were pregnant with a girl until I came out?
Right.
So, then you said everybody said around you were having a boy, right?
Well, because the way I looked, everybody said you look like you're carrying, like you're having a boy, and your papa was the only one that kept saying, "Oh no, she's having a girl. I don't care what anybody says." And then he claimed later on that he knew from the ultrasound because your papa went to the ultrasound, my first appointment with me, and he was excited because back when I was a baby, they didn't have that kind of technology. So he was excited to go, but he claims that the girl that did my ultrasound told him, because he swore to secrecy. So, who's to say if he was? I'm sure he was telling me the truth. I don't see why Papa would lie. But yeah, he was the only one going, "No, she's having a girl. I don't care what anybody says."
So what? So did Dad know, or was it a surprise for him too?
It was a surprise.
Okay. I don't know how you did it. I honestly don't know if I could do it. I want to, but I don't know. I'd be like, I want to know. So was it hard to have like not a gender reveal, because obviously you didn't do that, but was it hard to do like a baby shower because you didn't really 100% know what I was going to be?
No, because the baby shower was just, for me, I was happy no matter what, boy, girl. Even though I had my heart set on a girl myself, it wasn't. It was fun.
Okay, cool. Right, and then I already know what you're gonna say to this, but did I look more like you or Dad when I was a baby? Because everyone said when I was younger I looked like Dad,
You
but
did. Yeah, you resembled your dad a lot.
Okay. I think I know the answer to this, but it might be wrong. Which children's book did you read to me the most when I was little?
Which children's book?
Yeah, because I remember, but that might have been just like as I was older, but maybe there's one before, and then you read a lot.
I Love You to the Moon and Back. That was one of my favorites. And then there was a dinosaur book that I used to read to you. And it was a dinosaur book about going to bed.
Oh, that's really, that's funny. No wonder I like dinosaurs.
And you still have that book.
Yeah.
It's still in your, and it's something, it's called Why Don't Dinosaurs Go to Bed?
Oh, okay.
And and it's
that's funny.
And that was I think when you were a little bit older, but when you were little, I used to just read I Love You to the Moon and Back, and a lot of they used to call them, they had gold pages. They were little kids books, but yeah.
Okay, because I remember Olivia too
And Olivia, that was one of your favorites.
One. Yeah, I remember that one.
And that was a fluke because I thought, oh my God, what's she going to get out of this book? It's just a pig dressed in clothes. Because her clothes were like red.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like just like a transparent pig.
Mm-hmm.
But all her clothes and her accessories were bright colored. And I thought, I'm just going to like this book. And you ended up loving it.
Well, I think too, I mean, because if I look back on things, I feel like I kind of liked that book a lot because it was very open to expressing yourself and kind of being who you want to be. So I was like obviously very into that apparently. So, okay. And then what was the most annoying thing that I did as a baby? You could be honest. I know I'm not perfect, but you know.
I don't think there was anything that you did that annoyed me. Honestly.
Because you said I didn't really cry a lot.
You didn't cry. You were not, you were very stubborn when it came to, like, learning stuff. And if there was something you couldn't get that used to, I wouldn't say would you say irritated me? Or
like annoying thing I did.
Yeah, I didn't really get annoyed that much, really, with the stuff that you did. I would get annoyed maybe a little bit when you would get frustrated with yourself because you couldn't get something the first time. Or,
yeah. I still feel like that.
Whatever. But I wouldn't say.
Okay. Okay, and then who helped you take care of me the most often? Like, together or babysitting or whatever.
I would have to say, when you were little, your Noni and Papa. When you were a baby, and Sue Rising. She was your babysitter. She used to come to the house, and Sue was there a lot. So it was a combination of between Sue and, Noni and Papa.
Okay. And then how did you choose my middle name?
It sounded the best with Ava, and it was mine.
Yeah.
So I mean,
right.
It was like after running a bunch of
names
names through, you go, okay, Ava Marie. It sounds better.
Is there any other middle names that you considered before you chose that?
Elizabeth.
Ava Elizabeth. Not bad. Because I already know the other ones because you texted me, which is funny because Sophia and Olivia are actually like names I'm considering, which is funny because
the thing was, by the time I had you, I got married at 20, and I didn't want to start a family till I got through cosmetology school. So by the time I got pregnant with you, we started trying about when I was 25. I didn't get pregnant until I was 29, and I turned 30. I had you in June. And I turned 30 in September. So most of my friends and some of my family members, I had already had children.
Yeah.
So of course me and my big mouth. Oh, I want to name a girl if I have her Olivia and Sophia and Adriana. Adriana was not my favorite, but it actually became not my favorite because then I thought, oh, Andrea, and I never really cared for that name, Arena.
Yeah.
So people stole my names. So Amanda was one of them too, if you can believe it. And your Aunt Felicia named her firstborn Amanda.
Of course.
So
it's crazy.
So the lesson here is don't tell people your names.
Yeah, right, apparently. Okay, and then which one of my school friends did you hate having over? Like, is there any of my friends that you just did not like that would come over?
I honestly liked all your friends except for Dawn. Yeah. When you became a teenager.
Yeah.
And you were older, but
yeah.
All your other little friends, I used to love having them over.
Cool. Which is crazy that I'm still like really close to Monica. It's like real crazy because we've been friends since like second grade. I'm like,
well, Aislinn, I liked her. I liked Monica. When we lived in Lockport, you were pretty young, so it was Sue Rising's grandkids that you hung around a lot, and they were nice kids. And it wasn't until you got into probably middle school that I started not to care for your friends, and that was just because of actually. I don't know. I didn't really know them, but it was kind of like the disrespect to me.
Yeah.
That I didn't like. I can't say I didn't like them as a person because I never really got to know them. But
yeah, they were just assholes. I didn't have good friends. Okay, and then what were my very first words?
Your very first words? Yeah. Oh God, I'd have to look in your baby book. I have all that written down.
I think you said it was. I don't remember. I looked at my baby book, but I don't remember what it was. You said it was Dada or Dada.
I think it was probably Dada.
Yeah, that's good.
Pissed me the hell off.
Which is funny that's the first thing.
The hell.
I probably was angry with him when I said it too. I was probably like, Dada.
No, this will blow your mind, but they say that it's an easier sound for babies to pick up is the duh sound rather than this.
Oh, yeah, because I think it takes more action. I'll ask you this question, but obviously it would have to be like, it'll take a minute to get, because it's just like, what's your all-time favorite picture of me? But that would have to be later on, because, yeah. The next one is, I already know the answer to this, but did you want me to be a boy or a girl?
I wanted a girl, but either way, I was just excited to finally be pregnant.
Oh, cool. This is a good one. I don't know if I really talked to you about this, but how bad did giving birth hurt? Like, was your labor bad with me, or?
No, honestly, I worked right up until your delivery date was like you were supposed to be born on a Thursday or something, and you came 2 days early. So originally your birth date was supposed to be around the 22nd or 23rd of June.
Which is crazy,
so you did come a couple days earlier than anticipated. So honestly, I was in labor I was getting a pedicure because you were born on a Tuesday morning early. And I was off on Mondays and I was getting a pedicure, and I remember I was eating something spicy, and the girl that was doing my feet, she had the vibrating chair on, and I said, oh God, I said, turn that off. And I normally liked the vibration, but it was making me nauseated. And she goes, I don't care what you say, you're in labor. And I'm like, I just went for my doctor, and I did. I went that morning for my exam, and he told me, he said, honey, he says, don't worry about it. You got some time. You're not going to go yet. Now, whether he told me that because he knew my personality, because I was always kind of anxious because my clients were always telling me all their horror stories and everything, or if he told me that because, he still didn't want to get me excited if he said, well, you're going to go into labor any minute.
Yeah.
So he basically said, you know what to do. So I was in labor that Monday morning getting a pedicure, but I had no pain other than, and then when I finally went into labor, I started, I think 11 o'clock at night, the night before, and I was doing my breathing and counting the contractions like they teach you, and then I went to the hospital probably around 3 in the morning, and they weren't that bad. I was walking around, they were sticking me on the monitors to check my dilation, and every chance I could get, I'd get up and walk around down the halls, and the worst part of it was when I was trying to push you out, and they kept telling me I couldn't push, and actually the nurse, my nurse that was in care of me, she delivered you. Because the doctor, he was on his way, and I was like, I don't care who delivers this baby, just get her out, or get the baby out, because it's like taking a huge crap and somebody telling you can't push.
Yeah.
But no, my labor was pretty quick, and I did it with no epidural.
So was there any concern about me having to be a C-section, or was there? Okay, that's good. Did you get an epidural or anything?
No, but I would advise that to rethinking that whole thing, because I'm terrified of needles. So that was my reason when we went to the pre-birthing classes, and I saw the size of the epidural needle, which is about, this long. People can't see my fingers, but I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to pass on the epidural. But if I had to do it all over again, I would probably say, why go through all that if you have a little help.
And then, what was your first memory of me?
My first memory?
Yeah.
I think, I have a lot of them, but I remember you standing up in the crib, and that was like a big deal. Well, in the bathtub, that was my favorite time too, is bath time, but walking in your bedroom and in the crib, and you were standing up, smiling, and you had this big head of curly hair, and I was like, oh no, she's mobile. So that was one of my favorite ones.
That's funny. All right, and then what was the first toy you ever remember buying me?
Oh God, Ava.
No, these are weird. These are so
Elmo. You liked Elmo, so I think Elmo was one of the first.
Okay.
Actually, your 2 Elmo dolls are still downstairs.
That's
in the
crazy.
garage.
That's crazy. And then were you did you get to see me take my first steps?
Well, here's one of those times when you kind of go, well, we were trying to get you to walk, and you were haphazardly walking and crawling. And your papa one day, they was on the weekend when they were watching you took your first steps for your Nona and Papa. So I was not there.
Oh, did they record it or?
No, because they didn't have recordings and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't back then. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but they weren't into the technology like they are now. But yeah, so that was a little downer. But they took a picture. You know, they took a picture of you standing and.
That's nice. Okay, and then were you trying to get pregnant with me, or did it just happen?
I was trying to get pregnant with you, and then we kind of said, nothing's going to happen. So it wasn't until we finally thought, well, it was going to, you know what I mean? It was like we finally relaxed about it, I got pregnant. I actually got pregnant with you on my birthday weekend. I remember it, which is really weird. But
yeah, I was going to ask you that. Where was I conceived? I don't know if I want to know this, but...
Where
was I? Like, when was I conceived? Because, I mean, I know people ask their parents this, so...
Well, we were celebrating for my birthday, and your Aunt Tammy was out, and your Uncle Chuck, and we were celebrating. I got pregnant that weekend.
So was I conceived in a hotel or something, or...?
No.
No?
In the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
So 7,
my friend was like...
September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So yeah, it was August. Okay. Your Aunt Tammy used to come out in August, so I'm pretty sure it was pretty good. It was probably pretty close to my birthday.
Okay. Alright. And then, what's the next one? Oh, and then, did you ever drop me as a baby?
No.
No. Did anyone ever drop me as a baby?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Okay, and then, when you were my age, 23, did you want kids?
No, because I got married. When I was young, when I was in my teenage years, I wanted 3 kids. I always talked about having 3 girls. That was my thing as a little girl, and then going into my high school years. And then once I got married, I decided I wanted to get my cosmetology out of the way before I started a family. So that was something that was talked about before getting married, that I didn't want to have children, ASAP, because I still wanted to go to school.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Alright, this one might be emotional, but what made... Oh, well, not... Okay, never mind, I read it wrong. Okay, what made me cry the most when I was little? Like, what did I cry about the most? You would say. When I did cry.
When you got hurt.
I was a little pussy. No, I was a little shit. Like, I would jump off of things and then get mad that I, hurt. What made me laugh the most when I was little?
Made you laugh the most? I don't know, people being goofy. Doing goofy stuff.
Yeah. Like a little comedian. What TV show would I watch every single day?
Bernie.
Yeah, I knew that one. Oh, this is funny. Did you ever
Bernie and that blue dog. Blue's Clue.
Oh, Blue's Clues? Yeah. And then when I got older, it was SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, which I liked because it had a lot of adult humor in it.
Yeah. Now that I watch it again, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then, did you ever lose me in a supermarket or anywhere else?
No.
Or, forget me somewhere? No. That's good. What was the first movie you brought me to the theater to see?
Oh, God. It was probably... God, I remember this one. Because we saw the Walt Disney movies. I want to say... Your first movie. Belle and the Beast or something? Or
Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I don't remember going to the theater, so it must have been when I was younger, but... I don't remember going... Because I remember every time I would go, I would plug my ears because it would be too loud.
Of sound. So a lot of times we didn't go to the movies. We'd wait for them to come out on DVD.
I'm still like that, though. When I go, if it gets too loud, I plug my ears.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you used to freak out when it was too loud.
Yeah, that's why I never was able to go to, parades or anything, because I'd be like...
Well, even parades freaked you out.
Yeah, I don't like loud noises for some reason. What song did I listen to on repeat when I was super young?
I don't You?
No, I don't remember. I know. Oh, I mean, I remember like listening to Shania Twain like a lot when I was little. Like that, I was listening to "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" like a lot for like a long time. What was the nicest thing I ever said to you?
The nicest thing?
Yeah.
Thanks for caring about me when I was so shitty to you.
Yeah. Yeah, the next one, this one, I don't know if I want to hear this one, but what's the meanest thing I ever said to you?
Fuck off.
I'm an asshole.
Go fuck yourself.
That
was the phrase. That was the day that you got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
In the car.
I'm an ass. Okay. What was my favorite stuffed animal?
Elmo.
What age of mine did you hate experiencing the most?
I enjoyed all the way up until you were 9 or 10 years old. Those were great. I mean, because every year up to that point, there's always something new, and that I would have to say, when I liked you the least was when you went to Spring Valley High School that one year, and I don't know what age that was. I don't remember, but that's when
14.
Yeah, and that's when I said, well, we're going to go into the magnet school, trying to get you away from what I felt were bad influences. But
yeah, they were.
But those are bad. Those are bad years. Period.
Yeah. What age of mine do you feel like we were the closest?
I feel I was the closest to you, like with your whole life. Like I felt when you were growing up until we went through that weird phase after your dad and I split up. Yeah. You and I were always close, and now I feel close again now.
Same here. What's the first word that comes to mind when you hear my name?
What's the word?
Yeah, like what's the word that you think of when like someone says my name or something or
happy.
Happy. I like that. How long were you in labor?
Oh my God. Like I said, labor that I could feel, I would probably say, like I said, 11 o'clock the night before, and I had you at 6 a.m. So 11, 12, 7 hours.
It's not bad.
And that wasn't bad. It was like the 2 hours before you actually came out. Maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning is when it got
really bad.
Really bad.
Okay. And then which one of the parents at my school annoyed you the most, if you could remember?
Who annoyed me?
Yeah, like what parents annoyed you? Not like kids, but like parents. Because I know you've had a couple arguments with teachers and parents.
Parents would probably be that one house where you used to go all the time, and you guys used to watch videos and stuff. And I don't know the parent's name, but over by Strauss Road, over by Tenaya. Because, honestly, I never knew a lot of the parents of your friends. Because they were always at our place, and I wouldn't let you go anywhere unless I met the parents. So if I didn't meet the parents, you weren't going, so.
Yeah. Well, I remember those one parents you were pissed off at because it was like that one time that I had those twin friends, and we went swimming, and then they said they had lice right in front of you, and you yanked me out of the pool and, dragged me home, and I had no idea what was going on. Because I didn't understand what lice was.
I don't remember that.
I don't know if you were pissed at the parents, but, you were just pissed. I remember we were playing in the pool, and then all of a sudden, they just said they had lice out of nowhere. And then you heard them, and you were like, nope.
Well, see ya.
And then I'm pretty sure you probably did a hair check because...
Oh, yeah.
You were like, bro, nope. Okay, and then what was the worst part about being my mother? That's mean. It's a little
the
rude.
Worst part about being a mother?
About being my mother.
There was no bad part about being your mother. It was the part of the responsibility of the decisions I was making all the time in your behalf. That was I doing the right thing? Was I not there's, the decisions, when you have to make decisions for your kids, that was the part that would stress me out because you're always thinking, oh God, I hope I'm doing the right thing. Am I being too strict? Am I not being strict enough? Did that answer it?
Yeah. And then what was the best part about being my mother?
I just enjoyed every part of your phases of growing up. Every day was something new. There was always some transition point when you just something new would happen, and I got to experience. For me, raising a child and being older, I was like, this is cool because I can experience young kid things again and be gregarious and have a good time and be legitimately not considered a weirdo. Going to a kids movie or having a kids party with
Yeah.
It's the stuff we used to do.
What was my favorite flavor of baby food?
Oh my God, you used to love your beans, your green beans, and your sweet potatoes. Those were your two favorites.
I'm not really a big fan of green beans anymore, but I don't mind them. But
I used to love them. You would sit there like a bird. I couldn't get them in your mouth fast enough.
What is my worst habit, like, now? You would say my worst habit is?
I don't know. What would you say?
Probably, well, I don't know if it's really like a habit. Habit's like when you constantly do something. I would say my worst habit is probably, letting myself, like, get too overwhelmed by things too easily. Like, I get really overwhelmed easily, and then I end up distancing myself from people, and I become like a hermit, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Do you procrastinate?
I don't procrastinate as much as I used to. Like, I used to be really bad. Like, I wouldn't want to do anything. But usually now I only procrastinate of things like I really just like don't want to deal with, like things that are like very stressful that I know I have to deal with, but I don't want to deal with. So I just like procrastinate.
I think you get that from me.
But I mean, I don't procrastinate with like everything like I used to. Like, I remember I used to procrastinate with like homework or just cleaning. But now I like really like cleaning. I love organizing. Like, I love, like, in my spare time, I love to just fix things, redecorate. Like, that's just my hobby now. So, but yeah, I mean, well, what would you say was my worst habit when I was little?
You were just leaving your stuff everywhere.
I was a mess.
You never picked anything up. It used to drive me crazy.
That's funny. I'm still like that now.
Even
like,
when I would tell you, make sure you put your glass in the sink. Okay, Mom. And the sink would be on the table or it'd be on the... And I'd be like,
I still do that now with my shoes. I leave my shoes everywhere and then I trip over and then I get mad when I trip over them. Okay, and then which television character reminds you of me the most? Whether it's like a cartoon or just a
television character?
Yeah. I would say Squidward, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not.
I was going to say the other one.
Who?
SpongeBob's friend.
Oh, Patrick?
Patrick.
Yeah, because he loves food.
Well, not that. I just his personality. He's just kind of like,
yeah, he's all
kind of gregarious and.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, and then what song reminds you of me the most? If there's a song.
I would probably have to say Shania Twain. Man, I feel like a woman.
That was my anthem. Oh, this is a good one. What family member did you try to keep far away from me?
Which family member?
Yeah. Oops.
There's different phases of your life that I didn't want certain people around you. I never felt close to your dad's side of the family, so I never really, not that I kept you away from that side of the family, but you weren't as close as you were to Noni and Papa. Okay. But there was not a specific family member until you got older, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Did I ever do anything creepy as a kid that scared you?
Creepy as a kid?
My fact that I never was afraid of anything, so I would jump off shit and hurt myself.
Sometimes you would go outside on the patio near the hot tub, and I used to tell you all the time to stay away from it.
Yeah.
That would freak me out. Something bad happening with the water.
Yeah.
Even down at Papa's with the pool.
Yeah,
because you had no fear.
Yeah, ever. I wasn't. Now I'm afraid of everything. I think one thing too, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember I used to sleepwalk a lot. Like when I was a kid, and I remember there was times where I would like be sleepwalking, and I would just like, you would tell me like I was just standing there staring at you, and then you'd wake up and be like, what the
Yeah.
Yeah, as I don't know why I did that, but I remember I used to sleepwalk a lot. Was I a fast or slower learner than everyone else in class?
You were a faster learner. You got bored.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. I think I'm a fast learner with things that intrigue me, but things that don't, I'm like, I don't care. Like math, don't even bring me with that. I don't care about math. What was the best drawing or painting or like artistic thing that I ever made for you? If you like can remember what.
Well, you did a lot of art. I have a lot of stuff that you colored and drew that were. I saved everything that you made. You know, you'd make me little Christmas ornaments and color me pictures of things. And I have all those things saved in your box with all your stuff. But there's a plate downstairs in the. I'm trying to think. I would have to, there's some crafty stuff that you would make me was always my favorite. Ornaments, Christmas ornaments, I still have.
That's cool. What was I most afraid of as a child?
The dark.
I'm still afraid of the dark. For some reason, I just cannot sleep in pitch black. I freak out. And spiders. But that was after Nana's house. Because, Nana wanted to have all these spider homies in her house, and then I was always dealing with them. I wasn't afraid of bugs until that. Like, I literally wasn't, like... But then there was 3 daddy long legs in my bath, and I was like, no. I was traumatized.
No
after
way.
that. But I think, I think my problem is... A problem that I have is that I'm easily... Like, as a kid growing up, I was easily traumatized by a lot of things. So, like, that's why I'm still afraid of so many things. Like, and it just, like... kept building. Like I remember that one time where that lady, we were in that restaurant and that lady choked and I saw her choking and I wouldn't eat. I remember that was horrible. Like you had to like force feed me and like I didn't want to eat.
I had to buy you yogurt and ice cream and stuff, puddings.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Anything I didn't have to chew.
Anything you didn't have to chew.
I was traumatized. I remember that. But even now still, if I hear someone coughing like really bad to the where it sounds like they're choking, I freeze. I can't even, I'm like, don't even trust me to do the Heimlich because I can't. I'm too afraid. Okay. Is there anything about our family history you've kept a secret?
Our family history.
I mean, look, I'm 5% African, so somebody's lying. No, I'm just kidding. That's what it says.
No.
No? Mm-mm. Okay. Dad swears that part is on our side, by the way, is on your side. That 5% African. He swears up and down. Oh, is there wrong with it? What the hell's wrong with it?
He doesn't know that for sure.
Yeah, and then I'm like 0.9% Jewish. I'm like, it's probably Nana. Okay.
The Jewish part might come from your dad because his ancestors are from Hungary and Germany and Czech.
Yeah.
You know, that part of the country, yeah.
Overall, did you consider me a good kid?
Yes.
Okay. And the last question is, are you happy with the way that I turned out?
Yes. I'm very proud of you. You know, one of the things I want to say about that is that when, we're raising our kids, we always love you. I loved you even when you were not doing the things I thought you should do. So I remember when you were tiny, I would just say, Ava, I'm not happy with your behavior right now. I made it a point to say, I love you, but I just don't love what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And no, I'm really proud of who you turned out to be, because for a while there I was fearful, that you were gonna not be around doing something goofy.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all the questions. We'll do another one, but I'll just stop this one. So if you want to add anything.
No, I just want to say that, I said no, and I said I want to add something. I just want to say being a mom has probably been one of the hardest jobs I've ever done, but it's been one of the most rewarding, and it's brought me a lot of years of happiness. So, and that's it.
Okay, cool. All right. Bye, guys.
Did you want me to